Hi all, nice to see you again. I'm Sandrine at Simple Living in Spain, Sunny Simple Living. Today we are going to talk about starting or having an online business when you live off the grid. So if you're just joining in, good afternoon. It's afternoon today. Normally I do these lives in the morning, but today, well, I've got a different setup. I'm actually traveling. I'm staying with my parents in Belgium and things came up, and which is why I changed it to the afternoon. I hope that was not much of an inconvenience. So if you're just joining in, introduce yourself, tell me where you are. I love to hear where people are from, are tuning in from. Also tell me what you do. How do you make your money? So do you have a job? Do you have your own business? Do you work for somebody else? What do you do? Do you live off the grid? I also love to hear whether you live off the grid, you have plans to live off the grid, you have no plans at all. That's possible as well. You just like hearing me talk. I don't know. Okay, so if you're just joining in, introduce yourself. Now, today we are going to talk about, well, making money when you're living off the grid. So, yeah, sorry, I have slides. I'm fiddling about with my slides as well. So, when you live off the grid, we're going to talk about the reasons why you actually need to be making money, because some people think we're going to be self-sufficient, we won't need any money. That's not quite true. So we're going to talk about reasons you need money to live off the grid, about ways to make money while you live off the grid. We're also going to talk about, well, online jobs, virtual work, all that kind of things, like what is it, what can you do, what is it? And also, how can you set up your own virtual business if you'd like to do that? I'm going to just give you a few steps you can follow to set up your own virtual business or your own online business if that's what you'd like to do. So why me? Why am I telling you about all of this? I am actually a virtual service provider. I'm a virtual assistant. I help entrepreneurs get organized. And I also do online marketing and Facebook strategy. So I help small business owners with that. And I think that becoming a self-employed entrepreneur was the best thing I ever did, except for maybe go to live off the grid, but it was really good to me. So whenever I hear somebody saying, oh, I'm not sure about my job, and I'm not sure what kind of work would be perfect for me, I always ask, so have you ever thought about being your own boss, about becoming self-employed? So yeah, that's just what I do. Also, I do live off the grid, so that requires a virtual job. So that's why I think, well, that's why I'm telling you about all of that, because I'm actually in the middle of it. Then, yeah, first of all, why do you actually need money when you're self-sufficient, right? Most of us want to live off the grid to be, well, more in charge of our own lives, to do really what we want to do, to make time for what's important, and not to spend money. So why would we need money? I hear a lot of people saying, oh, I'm just going to live off the grid and grow my own food, and I won't need any money at all. I'm not going to earn any money. So that's a very nice idea, but it's not always very realistic, I think, personally, because there's not really a thing as, well, 100% self-sufficient. It is possible, but it's like living in a tent somewhere illegally. So if you want to do it legally, there's no such thing as being completely off the grid and disconnected from everything and everyone. First of all, there's taxes and legal requirements. If you own your own piece of land, you have to pay for it. If you have a house on it, you'll have to pay for it. Maybe you have insurance on it as well. Maybe you have medical expenses. Maybe you're in a country where you either have to pay are allowed to pay medical insurance, or if you don't have that, you have to pay for medical expenses maybe someday. Also, if you have children, you might want to send them to school and you'll have to pay for that. And it's the silliest little things like going on a trip that requires a lot of gas just to get there, or maybe you'll have to buy something to eat on your way, things like that. So there's always a need for money, however much we would like it not to be that way. So, and that is basically, yeah, why you need to have a job basically, or have some kind of an income. I'm not saying you have to have a job, but you'll need to think of some kind of an income when you live off the grid, especially, or if you, any lifestyle requires an income. So there, it's really important to realize what's your why. So why are you working? Why do you really want a virtual job? So do you want to be a digital nomad maybe? Do you want to be location independent? Do you want to earn money so you can go on a holiday whenever you want, or you can travel as a lifestyle? That's an awesome lifestyle, really. Or maybe you'd like the opposite of that, so you want to live off the grid and really remotely, and you don't want to go everywhere all the time. You don't want to go into an office. Maybe you just want to be staying at home with your family. You don't want to be commuting every day, being in the car for hours every single day. So yeah, that's why I really love having my own business and making money from my own home. Now, I have an online business, I have a virtual business, but there's other ways to make money from your home as well, and I just wanted to mention them. Like, you could have, if you have a garden, you can have a market garden and sell your vegetables to either at the market really, or you can set up something like a CSA where your community will support your vegetable growing addiction. So you can even have something like distributing crates of vegetables every week, or you can have an arrangement where people pay a membership and they come and collect your vegetables or your fruit at the end of the season. And that's really awesome because they help you with the work and you just need to make sure everything is ready for them. They can just come and pick their apples when it's apple season. Another way to make your money from home is doing things with animals. Like if you have chickens, especially if you have like 10, 15 chickens, you can absolutely sell your eggs. Even 5 chickens at times, I think that's really too much just for us. You can also have like a farm-based business, like a farm stay business as well, tourism, bed and breakfast, that kind of thing. So there's lots of things you can do. You can even sell homemade products, like make your own cheese, make your own soap, make beauty products, make cleaning products. Like we actually collect alpaca droppings and people can collect them at ours, things like that. So let's talk about online business instead. So I have a virtual business, and there is a slight difference between having an online business or real complete virtual business. It's not a very important difference, but it's still good to know that it exists. An online business can be a web shop, or it can be selling the products you actually have and selling them online and things like that. While a virtual business, as I see it, it's really 100% virtual and there's no tangible products involved. And that's basically what I do. So examples of a virtual job are things like blogging and copywriting. It's selling digital products like ebooks or courses, maybe a membership to something. It can also be affiliate marketing, and affiliate marketing is when you, for instance, Amazon is really known. Lots of people are an affiliate for Amazon, the book and stuff store. So that's where you get special links, a special code from Amazon you can put on your social media accounts or in your blog posts or wherever, in emails even. And when people click that link, they'll be sent to Amazon, and for everything they buy, you will get a tiny piece of the cake, and people will not have to pay Amazon 1 cent extra for buying of them. So that's, Amazon is just one example, but you can basically be an affiliate of everything. Like you can be an affiliate of a membership or a course, or your a blogging friend can have an ebook come out and you can become an affiliate of that. So there's a lot of affiliate marketing going around. But also, and that's the thing I do, there's virtual services. That's another example of virtual jobs. So let's first quickly go into blogging, because I hear a lot of people saying, I would love to start a blog, I would love to do blogging, and they will just do that for themselves or for their family members to just make a report on what they're doing, so the family members know what they're up to. But you can actually blog for money as well. It doesn't have to be different. So you can blog just for your family and friends to stay up to date, and at the same time start earning money from that. So ways to earn money off your blog. I have actually written something about that. I'll post a link in the comments. The ways to make money off your blog are things like the affiliate marketing I just talked about, but you can also do sponsored posts, like for instance, just an idea. I love my Brinsea incubator. It's an incubator. You put chicken eggs in there, and well, instead of needing a chicken to hatch the eggs, you'll just have a little machine. And I really love mine. So I could technically write to the company and ask them, is it okay if I write an article about it, and how much would you give me for that? So that happens. Or if you're a more established blogger, companies will actually write to you, say, oh, you have lots of people reading your blog. Would you mind writing an article about something we offer? Maybe you can get it for free and you're getting paid on top of that, things like that. So that's sponsored posts, and that's a really good source of income for many bloggers. Also, there's just advertising. So when people come on your website, there's an ad here and there. Some bloggers have a lot of ads on their website, and that's a really nice way. Well, nice way. I don't know about that. I'm a little bit reluctant of, well, I don't put a lot of ads on my blogs because I don't like to see a lot of ads on other people's blogs either, but it is a way to make an income, that's true. Also, a lot of bloggers, when they have a few blogs about the same, when they write a lot about the same subject, like for instance, one blogger writes a lot about canning, at a certain point they might have enough material to compile it into an ebook, and they can start selling that ebook, or even do a canning course online and things like that. So that's the main sources of income for bloggers. You don't really get paid for the writing itself. So even if you do guest blog posts for other websites, that's mainly meant to drive traffic to your own website. So most of the time you just don't get paid for that. So the writing itself, it's free, but there's a lot of ways to make money with a blog. So yeah, if you're live here, say hi, say where you're from. I also love to hear what you do for a living, because today we are talking about ways to make a living when you live off the grid. And most specifically, we're talking about ways to make a living virtually, so without having a real tangible job or real tangible products. So yeah, and let's continue with my slides. I need the slides to stay organized a bit. Otherwise, at the end, I'll realize, oh no, I forgot to talk about this and that. So yeah, when we talk about virtual services, so we had blogging already. Now let's talk about virtual services. There's lots of them you can be offering, and that really depends on what you're good at. So virtual services are things like design, logo design or web design, or social media management. Lots of people and businesses need help with their Facebook pages or their Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn. There's also translations or transcriptions, or maybe help with software. Like there's several virtual assistants I know, because most virtual service providers just call themselves virtual assistants, and they often offer like very specific help with very specific software, like Infusionsoft or like Dubsado and all the things you've probably never heard about, but they're useful tools for your business. So there will always be somebody specializing in that software, and they can offer help with that. Other virtual services you can be offering is things like coaching and teaching. So you can have one-on-one coaching, one-on-one teaching as well, but you can also do courses or memberships. Like if you are a really good gardener, I know my friend Dana I probably told you about that as well, I think last week or the week before. My friend Dana now she lives not quite off the grid, but she's a homesteader in New Zealand, and she has a garden, and that basically feeds her whole family year round. And now she has a gardening course, which is a great way of income if you know what you're doing and if you're able to teach that to others. So if you're thinking about setting up your own online business, well, I just wanted to talk to you about, how to set up your own online business. We talked about the different kinds of businesses you can have. So if you missed that, go back in afterwards and rewatch that, because we talked about what you can actually, the kind of virtual jobs there are out there, the jobs you can create from yourself. But most of those are only available if you have your own business. Like, you'll not be, well, working for somebody else remotely. That's a lot more difficult to find, because, well, yeah, people aren't always looking for remote workers. So if you want to set up an online business, first of all, don't lose yourself in the details. So don't think, oh, I could not set up my online business until I have everything sorted out to the detail. Sometimes it's just best to have the basics worked out and to just launch it and see where you get. So the legal requirements of launching your own online business are different for every country. So I'm not going to go very deep into that. If you're in Spain, you probably need to become an autonomo, which means you are covered for social security and basic stuff, pension build-up as well. But also you really just need to pay autonomo. Yeah, because you're self-employed. I'm not saying it's a really great way, because it can get really expensive. You start, usually, if you have the right requirements, you start with just paying like 50 euros a month, but it becomes more. Hopefully you'll be earning more by then as well. So how much does it actually cost to start your own business, your own virtual business, when you live off the grid? And that really depends on your country as well. Of course, there are legal requirements, insurances maybe that you'll need or not need. But basically, it can be really, really cheap, because all you need is a good computer and a phone. Even the internet connection isn't always that important, because, well, for a while, I actually lived in our little Macet, which was a converted stable, a one-room tiny thing. And I still had my online business. I was actually working really hard back then, and like 40, 45 hours a week. And I would just, well, do some offline work at home. And then every day I would just go into an internet cafe and have a cup of tea and or two maybe, and do my work online there, upload everything I needed to upload. So that is possible. I'm not saying it's ideal. So it's actually better to have your high-speed internet at home. But in case you don't have that, there is a way to have a virtual job anyway. Especially these days, you can have internet on your phone almost anywhere. And we really paid attention to, when we looked for land, we were really walking around with our phones, making sure there was a 3G connection. Now it's even 4G on our land. So that was really important for us, because if the internet fails, I really still need to be able to go online on my phone for my job. So I was talking about how much it actually costs to start your own virtual business. And apart from a good computer and a phone and maybe an internet connection, you will probably need time. Time is your friend, and you will probably want to save up so you're able to start it and to take your time starting your business, networking, getting everything in place before you actually launch. And that's why a lot of people actually launch their virtual business while they still have a full-time business, or while they still are in the city or whatever. So that's what I did as well. I started my business while I was still working full-time as a personal assistant as well. So first thing you'll probably need to do when you start your own online virtual business is to define your niche. You'll want to know what you're going to do and who you're going to do it for. So first you're going to define your core service or services. And there, my advice would be, don't be so mediocre at everything, but just know what you're good at and specialize in that. If you're already good at something, don't try and learn everything else. Like, I see a lot of people who say, oh, I'm really good at doing transcriptions and translation and that kind of thing. But I hear as a VA, you should offer social media management and help with certain software. And that's just not true. You can offer that, but if you're really good at just doing translations, for instance, which is not just, but if you're really a translator, then, well, concentrate on that. Don't try to learn everything just in the hopes that somebody will want to hire you to do everything. Also, next, when you're defining your niche, is who do you want to offer your services to? So who is your dream client? And it's just nice to have your dream client out there in your mind, just to know who you would like to work with. And you will probably not always land your dream client. You will probably not always be able to offer your services to the people you like to work with most, especially in the beginning. But you yeah, keeping it in mind can keep you on track as well. It's just like the why, like why do you want to do the virtual business? To stay home with your family, to live off the grid, or to become a digital nomad maybe. Then the big question is always, how can you get your first client? That's a big hurdle many starting virtual service providers have, because, well, they have their business all set up, they have their website, they have social media, they have everything, but they don't have clients. So there, I would say, having accounts everywhere. When we're talking about social media, when you start your own business, it's good to start an account on all social media as well, just to have yourself out there. So just have your logo and an account and a description of your business out there on all social media platforms you think your ideal clients would go to as well, just to have it there. But then apart from that, just concentrate on one platform, one social media platform, or maybe just your website and real life marketing, things like that. So concentrate on one place where your clients or potential clients will be able to find information about you, will be able to find exactly what your services are, what services you offer. Maybe you'll also want to put out your rates. Some people do it, some don't. So some just say, oh, contact me for rates and packages. Some just have their packages out there, so people who contact them already know what kind of money they're looking at, right? So yeah, have an account on all social media. It's like 5 minutes to set it up, for maybe 10 per social media platform, but at least it's out there then. But then concentrate on one platform. And when you start your own business, it is also good to start networking with your existing network. So just write to all your Facebook friends, put it out there on your personal Instagram, Twitter, whatever you have, or maybe tell it at family parties or something. Tell people what you are actually setting up, what you are actually doing. And that doesn't need to, well, that doesn't mean you need to be salesy or something. Like when I'm telling an aunt what I do, it's not because I want to work for her, but it's because maybe she happens to know people who actually need my services. So tell all the people in your network what you are about to do. Even at a certain point, I still need to do that. I decided I really needed to tell all my online friends what I actually do. So I set up to write Facebook messages to each of them, just in case you know anybody who needs service like this. I'm out here. And that actually got me a few jobs, so that was quite effective. Now, when you have your online business, and especially when you live off the grid or when you live in a more remote environment, you don't always have access. Like what I missed in the beginning was the office environment. It's talking to other people. It's basically just cycling to work, seeing people on the street, just say hi to a colleague or having coffee with people, that kind of thing. You don't get that as much when you have a real virtual job. So, which is why I would say get help online. There are some great Facebook groups out there. There are Twitter conversations. There are ways to connect with people online, with people who do exactly the same or kind of the same, or just random other online entrepreneurs. But most of them are in the same kind of situation. So they have an online job and they are often cooped up at home as well. So it's always nice to meet people who do kind of the same online. Also, what I've recently done and what I would recommend to everyone is to team up. You can team up with other people who target the same audience, who have the same type of clients, just so you can outsource to them maybe, or refer to them if you have too much work, things like that. And I have recently teamed up with a group of 6 virtual service providers, and we're calling ourselves the Farmish Collective. And so there's 6 of us. There's Angela, who is all about Instagram. There's Dana, who is all about Pinterest. She's really good at Pinterest. She is launching her Pinterest course. By the way, if you're interested in knowing all about Pinterest, she is currently launching her Pinterest course in beta. So that means you get it really cheap in exchange for giving her feedback. So if you're looking for a Pinterest course, I'll put a link in the comments as well. There's also this Faith, who's a business architect. That's also a virtual job. So she helps starting businesses set up their business and get their online marketing in a row and things like that. There's Melissa, who's a WordPress wizard, and she does really beautiful. She designs websites. She's also really good as SEO, at search engine optimization. And there's Sarah, who's a copywriter. And of course, there's me. I'm the Facebook person, and I do online marketing as well for starting businesses and existing businesses. So that is basically it. If you have any questions about having your own virtual business, about having an online business, about working from home when you're off the grid or when you're in a more remote place, then by all means ask them in the comments. I see there's comments, but I cannot see the comments. So I'm very sorry about that. I'll come in afterwards and I'll answer if there's any questions or anything. Also, if you're just joining now, I would love to know who you are, where you are, and what you do for a job, especially if you're off the grid. How do you actually make money when you live off the grid? Because that is what this thing was about today. So we talked about why you need money when you live off the grid. We talked about ways to make money when you're living off the grid. We also talked about online and virtual jobs and the difference between them. We talked about blogging, virtual services, setting up an online business or a virtual business, defining your niche, defining, well, your own services or products, and defining who your clients should be. About getting your first clients, about getting help online. So we talked about lots of things really quickly because I have so much more to say about this, but we're kind of short on time. Well, we're not short on time, but I really don't want to make these lives too long. So if you're thinking of starting your own business, first thing to do is, of course, define what you want to do and who you do it for. But if you want to spar with somebody, you just want to brainstorm a bit about things you could do when you live off the grid, things like that. I love to brainstorm about that. So get in touch, just send me a message, say it in the comments, or send me a message on Facebook or something like that. And I'll set up an online meeting, like a 30-minute meeting, so we can talk about your business or your dreams or your lifestyle and how to fit a business into that. I really love doing that, and it's for free, just mentioning. So yeah, that's basically it. One last thing I would like to leave you with is to always keep your why in mind. Because sometimes it gets a bit like I've had last year, or maybe it was 2 years ago. I was like, oh, I don't want to work. I want to spend more time in my garden. I don't want to spend too much time behind my computer. But then what happened, of course, was I got less and less clients, and I wasn't looking for new clients because I preferred to be spending time in the garden. And at the end, I really didn't have that many clients left. And I was like, okay, I really need to work in order to support my lifestyle, which is basically my why. I love my virtual job, and it allows me a lot of freedom. Like today, I'm working from my parents' house in Belgium. Last week, I was in Amsterdam. I really had a lovely time in Amsterdam, seeing friends and my husband's family, of course. And but I was working from Amsterdam, and next week I'll be working from Spain again. So that's really awesome that my job allows me to do that. But it's also awesome that my job allows me to work when I'm completely off the grid, when I live remotely, when I live really far away from any business who would hire me, basically. So always keep your why in mind, and that will keep you in business. So that's what I leave you with. I will come in afterwards to see the comments, and I will comment on the comments. I will reply to the comments when I see them. It was lovely seeing you here, and I hope I will see you again. I actually kind of forgot what I was going to talk about next week. There is a calendar on the page, on the Sunny Simple Living page. I have planned out what I am going to talk about every Friday this month, Friday at 11 o'clock normally. Not today, we had a little family emergency. I had to babysit. But normally I go online on Friday at 11 o'clock to talk about an aspect of living off the grid in Spain. So I'll post a calendar in here as well. So I'll be able to tell you what next week is about, or what the next weeks are about. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, if you would like to brainstorm with me, let me know, and we'll get in touch. Okay, bye-bye. Have a really good day. Hope weather in Spain is getting better than here in Belgium. Bye-bye.